Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for coming back or checking me out for the first time. It means so much to me. Today we're going to be talking about 10 upcoming games that I am most excited for. These are going to be mostly Nintendo games, but there are a couple PlayStation games thrown in there that I'm super pumped about. Make sure that you smash that like button if you like what you see, and of course subscribe to my channel before you leave so that way you can keep up on all of my future gaming content. Let's jump right in. The first game that I'm going to be talking about is Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. This game comes out on July 9th, which is actually tomorrow. Probably by the time you're watching this, it either will be the same day or it'll be after the fact. I have my pre-order ready to pick up tomorrow at my local Best Buy, and I am so excited to just get right into it. I played the demo and I just absolutely fell in love. This game is a JRPG game published by Capcom. The Monster Hunter Stories games are like a spin-off of the Monster Hunter franchise. I myself don't really play the Monster Hunter games, but I do really like Monster Hunter Stories because they're a little bit different and more my speed. This game uses a turn-based rock, paper, scissors inspired battle system. You play as a rookie rider and you set out to investigate a strange red light that's making all of the monsters around like kind of go berserk or like go crazy. It's making them super aggressive and territorial. You set out with your comedic little sidekick. It's like this little cat. His name is Naviru. The two of you go out and battle monsters alongside your monsties, which are what monsters are called when they're friends. You can befriend monsties, you can collect eggs and hatch different monsties, and they fight beside you in your battles. So they take a turn and you also take a turn. You're only allowed to have one monstie on the board. You can switch them out, which is really cool, and switching them out and switching weapons do not take turns, which is really awesome. So you can do that and then still pick an attack. This is definitely Pokemon inspired. I can definitely feel the little homage to Pokemon when I play the demo. The world is vibrant, it's expansive, it's absolutely beautiful to look at. You can go out during the afternoon or you can go out during the evening, so it does change the settings a little bit, which is really cool. I am just overall really excited to pick this up and play all day tomorrow. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This game comes out on July 16th. It is a remaster of Skyward Sword from the Wii, just with a few updates. So they haven't like remade it or changed anything in the storyline at all, but it is a remaster, so there are a couple updates that they added in. These updates include, of course, graphic improvements. So this game is now running at 1080p, 60 frames per second, so it's running a lot smoother. The original game was made with motion controls because it was on the Wii. They did keep that for if you want to play with the Joy-Cons in tabletop or TV docked mode, but they did also put in a button-only control scheme for those of us that want to play handheld or on the Switch Lite. They also updated the companion of the game, Fi, which is something that people didn't really love in the original game because it was a little bit invasive and overwhelming how often you were communicating with your companion. Obviously, for any like tutorials or things you need to know, that companion is still there, but other than that, throughout the game, you as the player can decide when you want to call upon your companion for like tips and tricks. They also have changed it so that you can skip and speed up dialogue in the game. I have my pre-order set. I have never played this game on Wii. I didn't play it when it was out, so I am super excited to see what it's all about and get to experience it the first time on Switch. Ace Attorney Chronicles comes out on July 27th. This game has the same old charm as Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games, just with some new faces. This game is set in the 19th century Japan and England, and you play as an ancestor of Phoenix Wright. You, of course, do all of the normal things that you usually would do, you know, speak to witnesses, examine evidence and clues, hear testimonies, cross-examine your witnesses, and of course you get to shout objection once you've got the evidence to contradict your witness on the stand. I also have this pre-ordered and I'm super excited to play. I picked up the Ace Attorney trilogy during a prior Nintendo Switch eShop sale and I have absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited for Ace Attorney Chronicles. Life is Strange True Colors is releasing on September 10th of this year. I personally will be picking up this game on my PlayStation, but it is also now being released on Nintendo Switch along with remastered versions of Life is Strange and then also Life is Strange Before the Storm. So all three Life is Strange games will now be available for Switch players, which is super exciting. Like the other two Life is Strange games, True Colors is a graphic adventure game. You play as the new protagonist, Alex Chen, while you investigate the death of her brother, Gabe. Alex has psychic empathy powers that allow her to read and manipulate the emotions of others. She uses these powers throughout the game to communicate with non-playable characters to uncover the truth behind her brother's mysterious death. This game seems like a great third addition to this franchise, and I am super excited to see what it's all about come September. Metroid Dread releases on October 8th of this year. This is a classic 2D side-scrolling action-style game. You play as Samus, per usual with the Metroid franchise. This is a classic-style Metroidvania game, but they did add some stealth elements to this game, so it is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more exciting than before. I feel like everyone was kind of expecting Metroid Prime 4 to be announced at E3 this year, but instead Nintendo was like, nope, never mind. We're going with just Metroid Dread. So that was a bit of a surprise, but I do have to say that it does look really cool. I am new to Metroidvania style games. I've said this in a couple previous videos. I haven't always played Metroidvania style games, but I have just been loving and raving over these kinds of games. I already have my pre-order set for this game. Next up, we have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl. These games will be released on November 19th, so later this year. Seems pretty close to Nintendo's holiday lineup. These games are from the Nintendo DS. I think they came out in like 2006 or so. So nothing really new here. If you've played the games already, they're going to be the same. Art style, surprisingly enough, is not the art style of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It is also not the art style of Pokemon Let's Go. It is a, let's call it just a different art style from the other games. It seems that consumers are a little bit disappointed with the way that it looks, so hopefully it performs well. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of how it looks, it is a Pokemon franchise game, so I think that all of us that love Pokemon will all put out $60 and buy this game. Mine's already pre-ordered. I went with Brilliant Diamond. That's really all I got for that. Pokemon Legends Arceus is set to come out in January, I think 28th of 2022. This game is building off of the wild area from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which was new to that game, but this game is going to be apparently completely open world, which will be the first of its kind for the Pokemon franchise. I am very excited to see what they do with it. This game in the timeline is set prior to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, so it's like a prequel to those games. And I think that the main premise of this particular game is to build and create the first Pokédex, which is so cool because automatically you always just have the Pokédex with you, but this time you get to create one. I know that the wild area, the open world portion of Pokemon Sword and Shield were a little bit controversial for some players, but I am extremely excited to see what they do with a completely open world Pokemon game because I really love that new aspect that they added in, but I hope that they do at the same time kind of stay true to our original beloved Pokemon way of playing. I think that this is probably the game that I'm most excited for on this list, even though it's so far off. My excitement for this is just like out of the water compared to everything else. The rest of these games have no like set release date. They just have time estimates, so like early 2022 or late 2021, that sort of stuff, but no definitive definitive release date yet. We've only got so much information on these, but I did want to throw them in anyway because I am super excited for some of these games in particular. So I figured why not talk about them and include them. Horizon Forbidden West. I think every PlayStation player is super excited to see this game finally coming out. It is slated for late 2021. I assume it will be part of PlayStation's holiday lineup because it is an exclusive title. They did already release a good chunk of the gameplay during a previous state of play. It looked beautiful. The world is so expansive and beautiful, just like Horizon Zero Dawn. This game is an open world action RPG just like the first one. You're still playing as Aloy. She is a huntress. She was the main character in the first game, so this is a continuation of her story. This particular game is set in a post-apocalyptic California, Utah, Nevada frontier setting, and the frontier is known as Forbidden West. So as you're playing as Aloy, she is setting out to explore Forbidden West and figure out the source of a plague that is basically killing everybody. The map in this game is said to be bigger, and they did add some fresh new gameplay mechanics as well as keeping some of the original favorites. I haven't yet finished Horizon Zero Dawn in its entirety, but I am loving the game so far, and it's definitely something that I'm going to finish before the second one comes out. Next up, we've got Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever they decide to make the subtitle. They have not released that because they didn't want to give any clues as to what the game is going to be all about. This game is slated for 2022, but they did use the word aiming for 2022 in the latest E3, so that does lead me to believe that there could be another pushback. This game has been set back a couple of times due to the pandemic, and it seems like it has really affected the progress of making this game. We don't know much about this game besides what they've showed us thus far. They did show us a pretty big clip compared to what we've seen at the latest Nintendo E3, which was like the showstopper of all of E3. If you haven't watched my prior video about E3, I talk about that more in that video. The video trailer for that looked phenomenal, and I think that every single Switch player, that is like the game that we're all waiting for. Breath of the Wild 2, of course, is going to get everyone excited, including myself. The last game that I've got on this list, I think I saved my favorite for last. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. The original game came out probably about 4 years ago now, so it's about time we got a new one. It is slated for 2022 as well. Like the original, this is a turn-based RPG style game. I think that this time around they are getting away from the grid style that they were using before, and I think they are intermixing some like freestyle battles with the turn-based sections of the game, which is pretty cool. You are able to, just like the first one, set your team, set your weapons, you know, decide which upgrades you want. All that stuff is staying the same. You're also going to see some friendly faces, you know, Mario, Luigi, and Peach, and of course Rabid Mario, Luigi, and Peach. There are some new faces. There is some baddie looking bunny that's got like green and black happening, and then of course we've got Rabid Rosalina in the trailer as well. Mario and Rabid Kingdom Battle is one of my all-time favorite games, I think. Like really one of my all-time favorite games on all consoles. I absolutely adore this game. I am so excited to see a sequel coming out, and the fact that they've been working on it for so long and so passionately, I cannot wait to see what's in store. Okay guys, well that rounds out my list of my 10 upcoming games that I am most excited for. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be picking up any of these games or if you're super excited for them, and also let me know what games you're going to pick up and which ones you're excited for that didn't make my list. Please make sure that you like and subscribe before you leave. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had just as much fun as I did making this for you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.